Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. This is your host, ID Jester. Welcome back to my video series for how to enhance your photographs in CS6. Hopefully you've been able to watch a few of the other episodes that I put together. Today I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily take a ho-hum picture. It's kind of interesting, but not a lot going on with it, and actually show you how to make it into a work of art that you can create quickly and easily. What we have here is we have any kind of picture, and I'm just going to use this one as an example. Any kind of picture where you have a main subject that really stands out, looks really good, but the rest of the picture is just kind of bland or nothing special about it. But you really like something that stands out in the picture, maybe the main subject or something important inside the photograph. And you want to basically take the rest of the background and all the rest of the image, and you want to convert that into something special. Here I was just thinking that, this is a graveyard, and I'd like to create something spookier or scarier or something like that, but I want this image, this gravestone, to stick out and make it unique, make it stand out from the rest of the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that inside Photoshop CS6. So let's look for another photograph of something we got here. That's the one I was just working on. Let's see if we can find something else. Um, let's see here. Okay. It'd be easier if I had thought of this originally. Gosh, what am I gonna do? Come on, seriously? I can find a picture already. Alright, well, let's just take another. Let's take a look at this picture here. Alright, this one's pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to right click, edit in Photoshop CS6. And that's the one I had just done, so I didn't want to do it again. So what we want to do is we want to take this really nice gravestone, the rest of the picture's kind of, I don't know, nothing special about it, nothing fancy. I want to convert this into something that's a work of art. I'm all about the work of art, something that stands out, something that's unique. Somebody's going to look at this picture and go, oh, that's pretty cool, or oh, that's neat, or how'd you do that, or whatever. If they look at this picture, they're going to say, oh, that's nice, whatever. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into our levels, and we're going to adjust. And at this point, all I care about is what our main subject, or whatever I'm going to try to keep from the rest of the picture. I don't care what happens to the background because that's all going to change anyway, so I'm just going to try and focus in on what I can do about this main subject here, and make it a little brighter and add a little contrast. Here you can see it made the background too light, and blah blah blah. I don't really care about that. So now I've got my main image, the main object, the thing I want to keep. I got that all taken care of. What do I do to create a background? I could try to, in CS6, there's multiple ways to do different things. I'm just going to show you my way, an easy way, I think, because all you're going to be doing is painting. That's all you're going to do is paint colors on here. So we're going to take our background and we're going to make a duplicate layer. So we have a background copy. Sure, that's what we're going to call it. So we have a background copy. You can see here I can take off, you can't see the front layer, back layer. We basically have two exact copies of the same thing. Now we have the background copy. We're going to make some major adjustments to it. We're going to change the hue of it, and we're going to change the saturation a little bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to exposure, and what are we going to do? Let's make this really light and then dark. There we go. Oh, we're getting somewhere. But you notice when we're doing this, we're actually changing the whole picture. You can see that because I can turn off the original. You can see that this is our brand new picture. Now this is actually pretty interesting by itself. Not bad. I like that actually. So I might save a copy of this at some time. But that's for another episode, I guess. So now that we made some changes to this, what we're going to do is we're actually going to keep this image, this original image, and we're not going to change it at all. So how do we do that with what we've done so far? And it's very simple. All we do is make sure our background copy is highlighted. We come down here to add layer mask, and we're going to click on a layer mask, and you'll see what will happen is this layer mask is going to be linked with our background copy. And basically this layer mask is just a blank copy of this image that's linked together. And all we're going to do is we're going to come over to the left hand side here, and we're going to set our color back to the default. You can hit the D key on your keyboard, or you can just hit this little arrow to make sure the black is front and white is on the back. And we're going to grab a paintbrush, and we're going to change the size of the paintbrush to something we can work with, and we're going to make sure it's got a hard edge. And all we're going to do, and we can use our brackets up and down here to make it bigger or smaller. And basically all we're going to do is we're going to paint our picture with a nice black color. While you're saying, what? Wait a minute, what? You're not painting black? I don't see any black there. Well, that's half true and it's half not true. It's how it's actually working inside of Photoshop. If I take off my original layer, basically you can see that I have my background layer, and inside my background layer, you can see my mask here. It's got a black mark in it, and basically all I'm doing is painting black pixels. And when I do that in my mask, the black pixels is actually removing whatever's in the background copy. So it's removing these pixels inside of my background copy. And so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so I can get this edge. And I don't have to be too precise. I want to try to be as precise as I can be, but I don't have to be exactly precise. And I'll show you why here in just a second. We'll make this a little bit bigger so we can get this whole area done kind of quickly-ish. I don't want to spend the whole video painting, but and I'm just going to rough outline this here. And you can see all I'm doing is painting black pixels. And basically these black pixels is cutting a hole inside of our second layer. It's basically just cutting a big hole in it so that everything that we have on our original layer is going to shine through that hole. Oops, down. Again, this might not be the best way to do something in Photoshop. There's usually multiple different ways to do things. You can try to use a lasso tool and try to create a copy of your main object, and so there's multiple different ways of doing things, but this is just one way that I find it's kind of easy and quick and easy and quick and easy and quick and easy. How many times am I going to say that? I don't know. The cool thing is, as you can see, one of the advantages of this way is, and I'm going to purposely do this wrong, is you can see I've actually cut way too much off on this side. Way too much. Well, easy fix. If black cuts a hole, all white does is it paints back in those pixels, and basically all we're going to do is paint white pixels back in there. And hello, can you go? What happened there? Oh, that was just a graphic error. Wow, that was a little weird. Sorry about that. Probably should have rebooted my computer before I started this video because it's been acting a little funky. It's taking a few seconds for it to catch up to my mask here. So all I'm doing is adding white. Bring these pixels back in. Again, I can turn off my image and I got my original. I can turn off my original and I can see what's shining through, what areas need to be touched up quickly and easily. I can see here that, oops, wrong color. Again, I want it black, and I can zoom in, oops, even more. Make this as precise as I want. I can get down to 1 pixel. You can also take one of your soft edge brushes and use the soft edge brush to make it more of a softer edge. If you want a soft edge, you want it to blend in with the other colors. There we go. So I basically, with the black, I've just cut a hole in this secondary layer. And you can see, if I turn it on and off, my original image hasn't been touched. All I'm doing is cutting a hole in that background layer that I've changed. One of the advantages of doing it this way actually is I can get this done and I can say, you know what, I like that, but maybe I don't like the background. Well, all I have to do is make sure my background is highlighted and I can go in and make some changes to it. And I can say, oh, well, let's see, I don't like that. That's kind of interesting. Maybe not. Oh, let's see. Change this. That's kind of interesting. Trying to create a work of art here. Kind of like that, but maybe I want to, oops, gotta make sure I have my image selected this time. I'm going to make some changes to it. Need to make it a little more darker, kind of spookier looking. I'd like to add some pink in there, more of that pink. Let's see if we can selective color, take our greens. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Change some of the color of the green. How about we do it like this? Let's go into our color balance. Here we go. Our midtones, we're going to take our midtones and we're going to change some of it into a nice pink. And our highlights, we're going to turn some of that into a nice pinkish color as well. And maybe the shadows, what are we going to do with the shadows? Red? Ooh, that's kind of cool. Adding some red in there. I can definitely see some of the pink that I didn't do well, so I'll just do is click back on my mask here. Make sure I'm, make sure I'm on black. And zoom in here. And I can just touch up that edge so it doesn't show through as much. And then click on the white because it looks like I got a little bit too much on that side over here and a little bit too much up here. And let's see, slightly more up here, and that looks pretty good. Last but not least, you can see that pink showing through there. It'll be kind of distracting on our tombstone, so we'll touch that up. Got a little bit more up here that I have to fix up. And all I'm doing is painting black pixels on whatever I want to cut a hole into our original image. And that looks not too bad. I'd spend a few more minutes just cleaning that edge up. Again, if I decide, you know what, I really like how this tombstone looks, but maybe I don't like this one. Maybe I want this one to stand out. All I have to do, paint black pixels on it, and I can have this cut a hole in my mask for this image as well. And turn up our brackets a little bit. And then I can just zoom in, and I can look at it and, oh man, nope, I don't like that at all. Okay, well, easy. Just change this to white and make it big. 2 clicks, it's gone away, because all I did was paint white back in there, and our mask back to white. We no longer have a hole there, and it shows through. And it's just a matter of file, save as, and saving our object once we've made our changes. So this is just one of the ways that you can do this inside Photoshop. I think it's a quick and easy way. You can make lots of changes to it. It still gives you lots of flexibility. You can come in and watch this. I haven't done this before, so let's see how this looks. I'm going to take this, because we had that really cool kind of streakiness on this image originally. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take our soft tip brush. Alright, I'm going to take our soft tip brush and I'd like to have more softness to it. Well, let's see here. Let's paint some black back into it. I was hoping to get some of these streaks to come through, but it might be a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Let's try that again just one more time, just to see if we can get a really soft. And we want white. Interesting. Huh. There we go. So just by using your different blacks and your whites, how much you're using of it. Let's see if we can get another one of these strokes. There we go. Maybe one down there. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. It almost looks like here. Oh, perfect. So there we go. I have just created a work of art. I couldn't recreate this again if I had to, because I haven't written down any of the settings. I haven't done anything I'm just going off, trying different things and seeing how it looks. And when I get to a final result that I like, I'll go ahead and save it. And you can take a picture, which was originally this, and convert it into something like that quickly and easily, just by painting with black and white and using a secondary copy, a background copy of your original, and a mask layer that's linked to that image. Black is going to cut holes in your image. White is going to close those holes back up. Let's try something else, just to see what happens, because I like to experiment. So black is going to take things, no, I don't want that. I want something really soft. And what's here? We got all sorts of choices over here. Good golly, Miss Molly. Alright. Just wanted to see if I could just barely get that stuff to come through. Not exactly the way I would have liked it to happen, but just have to experiment a little bit more and figure out what I'm doing and get the image the way I like it. And all I'm doing is painting white or black on my little mask, and hopefully you can do this at home and create yourself a wonderful piece of art. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful. Hopefully you learned some goodies. If you did, be sure to leave a comment, a thumbs up. Let me know that you're enjoying these series on tips and tricks on Photoshop CS6. And I do appreciate you watching my videos. I'm sure there's lots of other ones out there, but if you come back, I'm going to try to have more in this video series throughout the year. So do stop back in and check and see what we got. Thank you so much for your time. Until the next time we meet, this is ID Jester signing off.